The objective of the labor inspection is to further strengthen the implementation of the visitorial and enforcement powers under the Labor Code as renumbered, towards securing a higher level of compliance with labor laws and standards and ensuring continuity and sustainability of compliance at workplaces. For this purpose, the Department of Labor and Employment delegates this function to the regional offices with the issuance of a list of labor inspectors who are given the authority of conduct inspection, which covers all private establishments, including their branches and workplaces in the regions. The regional offices enforce labor laws and social legislation through the conduct of labor inspection, occupational safety and health investigation, and technical and advisory visit. Special inspections may be conducted as may be deemed necessary. With the provision for mobile devices and gadgets, the DOLE developed an inspection management information system. An important feature of the system is data capture and transmittal from the field in real time, as an electronic checklist is filled up through the use of mobile devices and gadgets. Data are instantly available for viewing and processing to generate reports, statistics, and summons, including real-time monitoring of decent work indicators based on the country's decent work profile. The TAV, or Technical and Advisory Visit, aims to provide assistance to the micro-establishments, or establishments that have 1 to 9 employees, to be sustainable, productive, and competitive. It also aims to transition our micro-establishments to the formal economy that is profitable, while also complying with our labor laws and occupational safety and health standards. There are different ways or modalities to avail TAV. First is the online method. Establishments can enroll in self-paced technical and advisory modules through our learning management system. For establishments that opted to go with online, they must accomplish the modules within 1 month from the time they registered. Second is on-site. The DOLE regional, field, and provincial offices conduct on-site or face-to-face orientation for the technical and advisory services, wherein micro-establishments are invited to attend. Third is hybrid setup. Establishments can enroll in on-site sessions and attend virtual meetings or webinars using various online platforms like MS Teams, Viber, Skype, Zoom, or Google Meet.
Establishment owners carry a big responsibility to comply with labor laws, including submitting reports and providing documents like payroll records during inspections. But the manual filing process is a major challenge. They need to spend time, money, and effort to fill out forms and deliver them to the DOLE office, often dealing with traffic and delays. Sometimes, there's a long wait just to confirm if the report is accurate and complete. And it's not just employers facing difficulties. DOLE employees also struggle with limited manpower and the time-consuming task of reviewing and processing these reports. The time has come for change. What's required now is a more innovative, streamlined, and efficient process for handling compliance reports. One that will simplify life not just for businesses but also for DOLE employees. Welcome to the DOLE Online Compliance Portal, your all-in-one platform for seamless compliance submissions, designed to make compliance easier and more convenient for establishment owners. Telecommuting reports? Flexible work arrangement submissions? Reporting the 13th month pay? No problem. Even work accident or illness reports and the annual establishment report on wages, everything you need is now in one convenient portal. Plus, the online compliance portal now includes the latest requirement for reporting movie and television shoots under Department Order 246, Series of 2024. All your compliance needs in one place. Quick, secure, and hassle-free. With the DOLE Online Compliance Portal, registering your establishment is a breeze. Our automatic registration system ensures you are instantly compliant with OSH Standard Rule 1020. Once submitted, your certificate of registration is immediately available for download, saving you time and effort. Need to manage your workforce details? The portal allows you to upload your employees' names and details using a CSV template. Once uploaded, these details are readily available for reports like the Flexible Work Arrangement Report, where selecting affected employees is as easy as a click. If your establishment has been flagged for non-compliance during labor inspection, don't worry. Required documents can be submitted quickly and conveniently. And if you're missing certain policies, like a mental health program or OSH program, we've got you covered with downloadable templates. Submit these documents directly through the portal, where Dole inspectors will review, provide feedback, and keep you on track for compliance. With admin access on the Dole Compliance Portal, labor inspectors can easily review submitted reports and documents from establishments. If further verification is needed, they can schedule an online meeting through Google Meet, all within the portal. This streamlines compliance checks, saving time and making the process more efficient for everyone. It's a smarter, more efficient way to stay compliant and keep your business running smoothly. Welcome to a new era of compliance, simplified, fast, and effective with the Dole Online Compliance Portal.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our Webinar Wednesdays of the Department of Labor and Employment, hosted by the Bureau of Working Conditions. This is NEP Catalunya, your moderator for today's webinar. So, last week, tinalakay natin ang mga OSH reportorial requirements ng mga establishments. Nabanggit din ang Rule 1050 or Notification and Keeping of Accidents and Occupational Illnesses at ang kahalagahan nito at ang paggawa ng easy logbook ng mga establishments kung saan itinatala ng mga employer ang actual sickness, injury, or death ng kanyang mga empleyado para magamit ang mga records na ito sa kanilang easy claims. So ngayon, sa ating Season 3, Episode 5, tatalakayin naman natin ang Employees Compensation Program ng ECC. Pero bago yan, let us start with a short prayer.
Let us bow our head and put ourselves in the holiness of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Dear Almighty and ever-loving God, we glorify and thank your name. You have showered us with so much blessings, and your presence continuously remind us of your faithfulness and guidance. May we humbly ask you to shower our speaker today of your greatest inspiration, so that he may share the most of his knowledge, his field of expertise, and to his respective topics. May we also absorb the invaluable knowledge, experiences, and put it into practice that we may learn today. Your infinite blessing would mean the success of this webinar. May we be a living witnesses of your genuine love through the enactment of the knowledge acquired through this activity. We ask this in the name of your Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Okay, good afternoon muli sa ating mga Facebook Live viewers. Thank you for joining us today. Paki-heart or like react na rin ang ating live stream. So paki-hit na rin ang follow button sa ating Facebook page, BWC1949, para updated kayo sa latest announcement and to know more about the labor standards and occupational safety and health standards in the workplace. Please share this live stream to your friends, family, and colleagues and use hashtag Webinar Wednesdays. For questions or clarifications, pakigamit ang comment section below sa screen natin at i-address po yan ng ating resource speaker at the question and answer portion. So before we start, let us know more about the programs and services of Bureau of Working Conditions. Let's watch this video. Okay, so again, welcome sa ating Season 3, Episode 5 ng ating Webinar Wednesdays. Ang topic natin ay Employees Compensation Program ng ECC. Ano ba itong ECC na ito at sino-sino ang mga qualified or entitled dito? Alamin natin yan at tunghayan. Pero bago yan, hayaan niyo po munang ipakilala ko sa inyo ang ating resource speaker for today. So he is a dedicated public officer and legal professional with a Juris Doctor degree from West Visayas State University. And he has a strong background in public governance and public management. He has over a decade of experience as the regional officer for the Employees Compensation Commission under the Philippines Department of Labor and Employment, where he currently serves as the Regional Information Officer of the IPAD Division or Information and Public Assistance Division. In this capacity, he oversees the efficient delivery of employees' compensation services and manages the operations of the Regional Extension 6 in Iloilo City. He leads initiatives that focus on workplace safety, labor rights, and compensation compliance across Western Visayas. He is a certified occupational safety and health trainer, empowering organizations to prioritize worker safety and well-being. He also represents ECC in multi-agency councils and labor management initiatives, promoting collaboration between public and private sectors. So as a regional representative in the Philippines Labor Department Regional Coordinating Council for Region 6, he ensures coordinated efforts across regional agencies. He represents ECC in the Labor Management Cooperation Convergence Team, strengthening labor management relations in the region, and evaluates candidates for the Gawad Kalusugan and Kaligtasan program, recognizing excellence in occupational health and safety. His mission is to advance social justice and promote industrial peace through effective, equitable solutions that benefit both workers and employers. Everyone, let us welcome Attorney Stephen S. Barredo.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Nep Catalunya of the Bureau of Working Conditions. All right. Again, would like to good day, everyone. I am Attorney Barredo from the Philippine Employees Compensation Commission. We are an attached agency of the Department of Labor and Employment, which is considered a government-owned and controlled corporation. In this session, I am honored to be here today representing the chairperson of the Employees Compensation Commission, no other than the Labor Secretary Bienvenido Laguesma, and our very own Executive Director, Attorney Kaima Villa Velasquez. Would like to extend also our gratitude to the Bureau of Working Conditions for inviting the Employees Compensation Commission to this very important webinar session. And the Employees Compensation Commission will be presented in this session and will be focusing more on the benefits and the important provisions and important policies of the Employees Compensation Program, which benefits our workers both in the public and the private sector. And it will not be possible without the efforts of the BWC to inform every workers and the public about the rights, about their rights under the Department of Labor and Employment and all its attached agencies. So in this topic, we'll be focusing on the short overview of the Philippine Employees Compensation Commission and the program as a whole, and focusing on the compensable diseases and compensable injuries, which are covered under the Philippine Employees Compensation Program. And also, we will be looking and we will be giving you an overview of what are the benefits that you can get under the Philippine Employees Compensation Program, which is a benefit for workers. So to start with, we are part of the family of agencies of the Department of Labor and Employment, and we consider ourselves a government corporation. And we are an attached agency of the DOLE for policy guidance and coordination. The head of the Employees Compensation Commission as a whole is the Labor Secretary, and our executive director is the head of the Commission Secretariat. Now, we were created under our law, the Presidential Decree 626 as amended, or the Philippine Employees Compensation and the State Insurance Fund. So we have been operationalized way back 1975. And for the information of everyone, in March, we will be celebrating our 50th anniversary. So it would be a golden anniversary for the Employees Compensation Commission, protecting and providing benefits for all workers in the private and the public sector. And we are a quasi-judicial corporate entity mandated to implement the Employees Compensation Program. So our function is basically on the affiliate. We are an affiliate body of the affiliate body when it comes to the Employees Compensation Program, and we have two administering agencies who administers and who accepts applications and evaluates application for the private and the public sector, namely the Government Service Insurance System and the Social Security System. The functions of the Employees Compensation Commission focuses more on the policy making and providing guidelines for the improvement of the EC program. So we review also appealed cases disapproved by our administering agency. Now, if the Social Security System or the Government Service Insurance System will deny your claim for the sole reason that it is not work-related, then the worker concerned or the claimant can still appeal that to the Employees Compensation Commission and elevate their claims with the condition that there would be proper documents, especially the denial letter by the Social Security or the Government Service Insurance System attached to that particular denied claims. And we initiate policies and programs towards adequate OSH and accident prevention in the workplace. We are part of the Department of Labor and Employment, and we promote zero accident in the workplace. In relation to your last week's topic, the occupational safety and health topic, the topic on social protection and safety and health are related to each other. So, sabi nga namin, if lahat po ng mga workers, lahat po ng mga employers natin ay magiging focus and magiging conscious when it comes to safety and health and magiging compliant, then there would be lesser work-related accidents or work-related illness or death that will happen to their companies or to their workers. So if good yung safety and health compliance natin, then there would be lesser fatalities, like lesser contingencies and lesser claims from the Employees Compensation Commission. Now, the program that the Employees Compensation Commission is implementing is the Employees Compensation Program. The program is a government program designed to provide employees and their families with income benefits, medical, and other benefits in the event of work-connected sickness, injury, or death. The highlighted phrase "work connected" is the most important. It's the most important qualification for you to claim benefits under the employees compensation program. The work connection should be established by proof of substantial evidence so that we can provide the benefits intended for that particular employee or particular claimant. Now, who are covered under the employees compensation program? Those people who are covered under ECC are private sector employees and public sector employees. So we do not only cover, even though we are from the Department of Labor and Employment, we do not only cover private sector, we also cover public sector employees. And in the public sector, it covers all mandatory members of the government service insurance system, meaning these are employees of the government with employer-employee relationship, including the uniformed personnel of the AFP, the PNP, BHMP, Bureau of Fire, and the Philippine Coast Guard. These uniformed personnel were not currently, they're not members of the government service insurance system. However, they are still member of the employees compensation program, which they can still claim under the government service insurance system. So this confusion had already been clarified with the uniformed personnel. And when it comes to the private sector, all compulsory members of the social security system, regular compulsory members, self-employed, we have recently covered the self-employed members. These are workers who have no employers, but they are earning income not less than they are earning income as a self-employed members. So even though they have no separate employers, they can still be covered and they can register themselves under the social security system as a self-employed member so that they can automatically be covered under the employees compensation program benefits. So in our jurisdiction in the Philippines, if you are working in a particular employer, your employer is required to cover you to mandatory social protection, namely the PhilHealth, the Social Security, the Pag-ibig, and the fourth one would be the employees compensation program. The difference of the employees compensation program, okay, the difference of the employees compensation program from PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, Social Security system, in the EC program, the ones who are paying are the employers, whereas in the Social Security, PhilHealth, and Pag-ibig, the ones who are paying are our workers or our employees. So sa amin, sa Employees Compensation Program, wala pong binabayad kahit piso ang ating mga empleyado kasi ang nagbabayad po dyan yung mga employer natin because sa ilalim po ng batas, sa ilalim po ng Presidential Decree 626 as amended or the Employees Compensation and State Insurance Fund, sila po ay may responsibilidad or duty to cover their employees to Employees Compensation Program. So yung tanong po natin doon is, paano po mag-register? Paano po mako-cover? If you are covered under Social Security system, you are automatically covered under the Employees Compensation Program. You don't need to register separately from your Social Security registration. It's automatic. It's automatic. Even if your employers did not cover you under Social Security system, but the mere fact that you are an employee with employer-employee relationship qualifies you to be covered under the Employees Compensation Program and consequently avail your benefits under the EC program for work-related contingencies. And also, we also cover our kasambahays. Because by virtue of the kasambahay law, our kasambahays are considered employees. Okay? So they have certain benefits that they are qualified or they can avail. And one of those benefits is the Employees Compensation Program benefits. So kapag meron pong aksidente meron pong sakit, meron pong pagkamatay na nangyari po sa isang kasambahay, pwede pong kumuha ng benepisyo under the Employees Compensation Program na pinafile po natin doon sa ating mga administering agencies, sa private social security system, sa public government service insurance system. Magkano po yung binabayad ng ating mga employer? Hindi po nagbabayad yung mga empleyado dito, but ang ating mga employer. Ito po yung range of compensation. From 1,000 to 14,749.99, 10 pesos per month per employee yung binabayad po ng mga employer natin sa pribadong sektor. Whereas, 400, 750 po yung range of compensation monthly, and above, it would be 30 pesos per month per employee. It is masyado pong maliit yung contribution natin, pero yung benepisyo na makukuha later will be explaining. So we encourage our employers to faithfully and on time po natin i-contribute yung mga contribution po natin ng ating mga empleyado sa Social Security and the Employees Compensation Program. Now, for the public sector, para po sa amin, ng mga nagtatrabaho po sa gobyerno, gaya po ng taga-DOLE, taga-Bureau of Working Conditions, taga-Employees Compensation Commission, and other government agencies. Magkano po yung binabayad ng gobyerno sa amin? As our employer, 100 pesos per worker per month, regardless of the monthly salary grade. Depende, kahit gaano po kalaki yung sahod, gaano po kaliit yung sahod na nagtatrabaho po sa government, ito po yung nagko-contribute po ng 100 pesos per month per worker. Automatic na po yan. Including po sa General Appropriations Act natin na sinasubmit po ng ating mga ahensya ng gobyerno annually. So, for the information of everyone, as of September 2024, these are the very important facts that you need to know when it comes to your state insurance, when it comes to our state insurance fund. So, the state insurance fund, this is the affirmation of the Employees Compensation Commission of its firm quality policy that and our mission to ensure that our state insurance fund is well managed, stable, and resilient. Okay, so you can check our data when it comes to the state insurance fund to in our website, or you can check that in our website and Facebook account. So these are the very important data that we can share with everyone na nanonood po sa atin ngayon na webinar series. Now, we'll be proceeding kung ano po yung kino-cover namin ng mga contingencies. Sabi natin kanina, ang Employees Compensation Program po ay benepisyo para sa mga empleyado na naaksidente, nakasakit o namatay ng dahil po sa trabaho. Basically, dalawa po yung covered namin, sakit at aksidente. Ang sakit po at ang aksidente ay pwede pong magresulta sa disability or pagkamatay. So, yung sakit, yung aksidente, kailangan po ay work-connected. Now, ito po yung compensable diseases sa amin. So para po makakuha ng benepisyo sa ilalim po ng Employees Compensation Program, ang ating sakit po ay kailangan po ay cost po ng ating trabaho or working environment para po ito ay maging compensable under Employees Compensation Program. And ang Employees Compensation Commission din po ay nag-release po ng listahan ng mga compensable diseases. Meron po tayong 33 compensable diseases. And we include COVID-19 as our latest compensable diseases. Okay? So yung listahan na po niyan, pwede nyo po niyan makuha sa aming website. Lahat po dyan ng mga sakit na pwede pong maging pagmulan ng compensation or ng work-related compensation ay nakalista po dyan with corresponding working environment kung paano natin makukuha yan. One of the most common na sakit po dyan yung occupational hearing loss, yung pagkabingi po natin. Palagi po namin binibigay na example yan because even though yung occupational hearing loss po ay included sa 33 compensable diseases natin, it doesn't mean that it will apply to all workers in all kinds of work. So specifically po, sa listahan po na nilabas po ni Employees Compensation Commission, nakalagay po doon na ang occupational hearing loss ay pwede lang pong makuha ng isang worker or isang empleyado na nagtatrabaho to any high-frequency industrial companies. So, yung trabaho nyo or yung workplace nyo ay wala pong hazard na pwede pong mag-cause ng occupational hearing loss or wala pong risk or wala pong hazard doon na pwede pong mamingil. Ay hindi po yan mako-cover under the Employees Compensation Program because the demands of the work and the working environment na required po based po sa listahan po namin ay hindi po natin na-meet, okay, to justify po ang work connection. So meron din po kaming mga sakit na wala po sa listahan na nilabas po namin, but either you can establish causal connection under our increased risk theory. So ibig sabihin po nito, as long as may reasonable po na ebidensya or proof ang isang empleyado sa kanyang kondisyon na nagsasabi na yung kondisyon po niya ay yan po yung nag-cause or nag-increase para makakuha po siya ng sakit or meron pong koneksyon ang kanyang trabaho sa sakit na meron po siya, pwede po nating makover yan under the increased risk theory. So it's not necessarily po na yung kondisyon na yan ay yung direct na nag-cause. Okay, sa sakit na yan. So, it can be a reasonable proof as long as there is a connection. There is a connection that that particular working condition increases the risk of contracting the disease. Then, the Employees Compensation Commission or our administering agencies may cover and pay and provide such benefits for that particular illness. So yung mga sakit po na 33 na yan, you can check that in our website. Now, hindi lang po sakit ang kino-cover ni Employees Compensation Program. By the way, sa mga sakit po natin, meron po kaming 33 na mga sakit. However, we are specifically not covering yung mga sakit na congenital, hereditary, or pre-existing. That's why when we enter our offices, when we enter or when we start or when we apply in a particular company or a particular organization, we are required to provide a pre-employment or medical examination, to undergo medical examinations, because our employers, in relation to their employer's prerogative to choose or to hire employees, they are requiring you to undergo pre-medical examinations for them to know if you're fit to work or not. Now, if a particular illness or disease is pre-existing, then there is a possibility that it will not be considered work-connected later when you apply that to the Employees Compensation Program, because, again, it's pre-existing. Meron ka ng ganyan before ka pa pumasok sa company nyo. Meaning, you did not get that because of your work or the working environment inside your workplace. So, nakuha mo na yan before ka pa pumasok. Okay? So, we do not cover pre-existing conditions. Congenital, hereditary, nung maliit ka pa, or minana na mga sakit. So, it would be hard for you to file employees compensation claims if those diseases, which are hereditary and congenital, will be filed sa amin. So, well, it will undergo medical evaluation by our medical doctors under the government service insurance system and the social security system. We also cover injury or mga injury caused by an accident. Okay? When you when it comes to occupational safety and health, or if you have undergone training under basic safety and health training or construction safety and health training, malalaman po natin doon na yung aksidente po ay unforeseen, unexpected, and unplanned. So meron po talagang aksidente na pwedeng mangyari po sa atin. However, it is not a valid reason that we will not comply when it comes to the safety and health policies of the Department of Labor and Employment, and the standards set by the Occupational Safety and Health Center or our law. Now, kapag meron pong aksidente, pwede pong makakuha ng benepisyo yung mga empleyado. Okay? That's why kami sa Employees Compensation Commission, ang palagi po namin advice po sa ating mga employer ay kailangan yung mag-comply under our OSH law. Pangalawa, kailangan nyo i-cover under Employees Compensation Program social protection ang ating mga empleyado. Bakit? Kasi kapag meron pong aksidente na mangyari po sa kanya, na-injure po siya, na-disabled, or namatay po ang isang empleyado, merong makukuhang benepisyo under Employees Compensation Program over and above the benefits na makukuha po under Social Security System. Which, okay, at saka wala pong penalty na i-impose po sa ating mga employer because nag-comply siya. Just that, meron lang po mga aksidente na nangyari beyond the control of our employer or beyond the compliance of our employer. Ang ayaw po namin doon is may na-aksidente dahil sa kapabayaan ng ating mga employer because they are not complying with the regulations and the policies of the Department of Labor and the OSH law, okay, provisions. So, ano po yung mga aksidente na pwede pong makover under the Employees Compensation Program? Number one, kapag nangyari po ito sa workplace, there's a presumption na kapag nangyari po sa workplace, ay work-connected po ang nangyari sa atin. Okay? However, that would be disputable if meron pong mga violations na kinumit po yung ating mga empleyado. Pero kapag nangyari po yung aksidente sa loob ng ating workplace, pwede po yung maging work-connected. Hence, pwede pong i-apply under the Employees Compensation Program at punan po ng benepisyo. Okay? Number two, happened while performing official function. Ano po yung official function natin? Ang official functions are enumerated in our contract. That's why it's very important that when you enter, when you join a particular organization, you need to secure a contract which enumerates your job description, because your job description will determine if you are performing official function that time when you were or when you met work-related contingency or nung aksidente ka or nagkasakit ka or nung namatay ang isang empleyado. The problem would be, if hindi po natin alam yung trabaho natin, then that will confuse and that will lead na hindi po pwedeng connect yung wala pong work connection at hindi po makakuha ng benepisyo under the Employees Compensation Program. Number three, outside the workplace but performing an order of his employer. Meron po tayong mga trabaho which is, well, not directly part of our job functions. Okay? And ito din yung mga trabaho or mga aksidente na nangyari because our employers ordered us to do something outside. Okay? As long as there is a order, okay, official order, or sa amin sa government we have locator slip, we have official order. Sa inyo siguro meron mga pass slip gano'n. As long as there is a proof na makapagpatunay na inutusan ka ng employer mo, then that will justify that you are performing an order of your employer. The problem when it comes to mga verbal na order is it would be hard for us to prove that later when you apply a particular claim. Okay? So, dapat when we are doing something in favor of our employers, kailangan po in as much as possible, written po, and any form of proof po, kailangan meron po tayong gano'n. So, if meron kayong policy na bawal lumabas sa office, kailangan mag-logbook, kailangan po natin i-follow yun because non-compliance may result for you to be disqualified to claim under the Employees Compensation Program because it might result to possible notorious negligence later on the part of a particular worker or employee. Number four, going to or coming out from work. This is one of the policies na meron po yung Employees Compensation Program. Ngayon, our wages, yung sahod po natin, nagsastart po yung bayad sa atin or sahod natin from the time po na nag-time in tayo and from the time na nag-time out tayo. So yung sahod po natin, it will be determined. Ang number of hours po natin per day, okay, na pinagtrabahuhan will be determined sa number of hours kung kailan po tayo nag-time in and nag-time out. So that is we are paid based on that. However, under the Employees Compensation Program, we do not only cover from time in and time out, we extend from going to office and going home from office. So kino-cover po namin yan, meaning paglabas po ng bahay niyo, as long as your intention is to go to your office, directly to your office without any deviation on the part of the employee, then it may be covered under the Employees Compensation Program. Papunta kang opisina habang naghihintay ng public transportation sa usual and habitual route mo na sagasaan po ang isang empleyado. Pwede bang kumuha ng benepisyo under the Employees Compensation Program? Pwede po. May posibilidad po na ma-approve yung kanyang claim because even though hindi pa siya nakapasok or hindi pa siya nakadating sa kanyang bahay, sa kanyang opisina, he is still going to his work or to her work. So pwede po yang ma-cover under the Employees Compensation Program because it is incidental to your job functions or to your job because you need to go to your work. You need to go home from your work. Okay? Ganun din po pag-uwi natin. After time out, even though our wages or our salary will, yan po yung basis na pag time out natin, wala na po tayong sahod kasi pauwi na po tayo. However, the protection that the Employees Compensation Program is providing extends until na makadating ka na sa inyong bahay. So if there would be an accident while going home from work, okay, passing your usual or habitual route, then it will still be considered as work connected under the policies of the Employees Compensation Commission. Number 5, while ministering to personal comfort, we have personal comfort to drink water, to take our lunch, or pupunta tayo ng comfort room. Okay? So, mga bio break natin. So, these are personal comfort. Kapag meron po nangyari while we are doing that, then still considered as work connected. Even though short lang yan or nag-lunch break ka, okay? Hindi ka nag-lunch sa office nyo kasi wala naman kayong canteen, but administering your personal comfort, it may be covered under the Employees Compensation Program as long as you are administering your personal comfort. Number 6, while in a company shuttle bus. Kung meron po mga sasakyan yung ating mga company, kung meron pong mga service vehicle ang ating pong mga organization, and we are authorized to use those shuttle buses or our official vehicle, then you will meet an accident along the way, or yung driver natin medyo antok siya and then accident, then be considered work connected under the Employees Compensation Program. Pwede pong kunan ng benepisyo yan under ECC. And number 7, during a company-sponsored activity. So, way back before COVID-19 pandemic, we are conducting our activities, our team building, our Christmas party, our birthday, corporate activities. Pinakonduct natin sa labas, sponsored by your company. As long as the company is sponsoring the event or there is an order requiring you to attend a particular activity, then kapag may nangyari, it will be covered under the Employees Compensation Program. It would be a different story if activity, even though magkasama kayo ng mga co-employees mo or ng boss mo, if it's not sponsored or authorized or sanctioned by the company or by the organization, then it will not be considered work connected because it's a personal, okay, activity. Nag-inuman kayo, birthday ng kasamahan mo sa workplace, kayo kumain sa labas, na aksidente, then it's not covered anymore. Even though ano naman kayo, magkasama naman kayo sa trabaho. So it's not po. Number 8, death of an employee due to assault. So, ang asulto, regardless, okay, namatay pong isang empleyado due to assault, okay, it may still be covered under the Employees Compensation Program. May nangyari pong patayan sa loob ng isang opisina o sa loob po ng isang organization. Ang dahilan po ng patayan or asulto na yon ay personal in nature. However, again, nangyari po yan sa loob ng kanyang opisina. Okay? And he was working that time and he was, okay, officially at work that time. It's still work connected. Okay? It's still work connected. So, regardless of the intention of the assault, as long as nasa loob ka ng opisina or nagtatrabaho ka that time, it's still work connected. In summary, sa 8 na to, sa 8 po na mga instances na mga aksidente na pwede pong makover under the Employees Compensation Program or mga injuries na pwede pong makover under the Employees Compensation Program. Kino-cover po ng ECC yung mga injuries na, number 1, it's na nangyari po sa loob ng opisina. Okay? Or workplace. Pangalawa po, na nangyari po, ang dahilan po ay or in relation po to your work. In relation po to your work. So, meron pong pinagkaiba yon. Kapag naputol po yung kamay ng isang empleyado while working in a manufacturing company, accidentally, napasok niya yung kamay niya sa machine without machine guarding. Naputol po yung kamay niya, kinain po ng machine, na-aksidente. Yan po ay parte ng kanyang trabaho. That is in relation to his work. Okay? So, meron pong kinalaman niya sa kanyang trabaho. Meron pong mga aksidente or injury na not directly may kinalaman sa trabaho. However, that time, andyan po siya sa kanyang trabaho. Okay? Binaril po ang isang security guard while working inside the company. Would it be work-connected? It might be work-connected. Kasi nagtatrabaho siya that time sa loob ng kanyang workplace, regardless of the intention of the assault. Depende po yan. It will be subject under a medical and legal evaluation po ng Employees Compensation Commission and our administering agencies, which is the Social Security System and the Government Service Insurance System. So ito po yung 8 na very important policies po na meron po yung Employees Compensation Program when it comes to accidents. So later, sa mga nanonood po na mga workers at mga employers natin po, it would be easy for you to determine if it's work-connected or not. Kasi may idea na kayo. Pwede bang maging work-connected kapag nangyari sa loob ng opisina? Yes, because it's number 1 in our topic. Okay? Pwede ba while performing official function? Yes. It's number 2, it's work-connected. Ano po yung resulta nito kapag work-connected? Of course, pwede kayong mag-claim ng benepisyo under the Employees Compensation Program, which is an additional benefit. Okay? Additional benefit po sa ating social security system benefits. So, over and above, 2 po yung makukuha natin as long as work-connected po yung Employees Compensation, okay, program benefits. Yung benepisyo nyo sa social security system, it will depend on the requirements and the qualifications which are prescribed in the social security system. Sa amin, very simple. Work-connected, ikaw po isang empleyado at ikaw po merong work-connected na sakit, aksidente o pagkamatay. Ganun lang. Kapag na-meet mo yung 2 qualifications na yun, automatic, you will be paid by your Employees Compensation Program benefits. Wala na po kami tatanong, wala na po kami hihingin as long as you need to prove qualifications. Okay? In all rule, in all policies, meron po dapat na mga exemptions or exempting circumstances. Number 1, intoxication. You're not allowed to drink alcoholic drinks inside your companies. If you were found intoxicated of alcoholic drinks or probably you have taken illegal drugs, and there's a possibility na ma-disqualify kayo because it's not allowed. It's against the law. Yung illegal drugs, okay? If your company has a company policy na bawal uminom sa loob ng opisina, then that is you are violating company policy that may result to notorious negligence. Okay? So, even though work connected yung nangyari sa iyo, but there is a possibility that you will be disqualified to claim the benefits under the Employees Compensation Program because you were intoxicated. You were intoxicated. Number 2, notorious negligence o yung mga matitigas na ulo sa ating mga empleyado. Sabi sa Occupational Safety and Health, hindi lang daw madalas yung aksidente. No, mas malaki daw yung percentage na yung na-aksidente yung mga empleyado because of unsafe acts of our workers. Not only unsafe condition, which is the responsibility of our employers or our management. But madalas po, dahil po sa katigasan ng ulo at mga unsafe po na mga acts po ng ating mga workers or employees. Workers or employees natin. Ngayon, kapag ang acts po or ang ginawa po ng ating mga workers or ating mga empleyado will constitute notorious negligence, then there is a possibility na ma-disqualify siya. However, it should be notorious negligence. It should not be simple negligence. Once lang siya na nakalimutan niya yung hard hat niya for once, it might not be considered notorious negligence. However, if it's habitual na hindi siya nagpa-follow ng mga company policy, mga ilang buwan na siya or ilang weeks na siya or ilang araw na siya hindi nagpa-follow ng prescribed personal protective equipment na kailangan or required pagpasok po sa company, then there's a possibility that he or she will be considered notorious negligent. If he or she is notorious negligent, then he or she cannot claim benefits under the employee's compensation because disqualified agad yun. And we are from the Employees Compensation Program, Commission. We are under the DOLE. Daughter agency po namin yung Occupational Safety and Health Center. Basically, we are very serious when it comes to safety and health. So, we are taking it seriously and we are injecting that and implementing that when it comes to our policies. So, kapag po notorious negligent ang ating pong empleyado, kahit po nakakaawa yun. But notorious negligent, it was found out based sa mga documents provided by the company and the employee himself na matigas talaga yung ulo niya, then we have no choice but to disqualify that particular employee to claim or we will deny the claim under Employees Compensation Program. Okay? Willful intent to injure oneself or another, magpapakamatay or meron pong papatayin, meron bang benepisyo under the program? No. Because the Employees Compensation Law or the Employees Compensation and State Insurance Law is very clear. In this particular exempting circumstance, bawal kumuha ng benepisyo or hindi pwede makonsider na work-connected yung mga taong willfully and intentionally, they want to injure themselves or yung ibang tao. That's a crime. That's even a crime. So, hindi po natin mababayaran yan. You will be disqualified. Okay? The ECC and the government will not be providing benefits for you. Okay? So, ito po yung kailangan po nating i-avoid because these are the disqualification circumstances under the Employees Compensation Program. Ngayon, kapag alam na po natin na yung nangyari ay work-connected, then there would be benefits, okay? Appropriate benefits for a particular cases natin. So, meron po tayong sickness, disability, medical, carer's allowance, rehabilitation, death, and funeral benefits. The commission is not that popular compared to Social Security, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, Government Service Insurance System, and the DOLE itself. Hindi kami ganun ka-popular. However, right now, we would like to encourage everyone to share what you have learned in this session to our fellow workers, to your family, to your friends, to your kapitbahay, even to your enemies. Tell them, meron palang benepisyo under the Employees Compensation Program na kapag nagkasakit ka, na aksidente o namatay, meron palang makukuhang benepisyo. Ito po'y iba pa sa Social Security benefits. Okay? Ito po yung mga benepisyo na meron kami under C program. Ito po yung yung sickness benefit? Ano po yung sickness benefit or disability benefits? Ito po yung principal or main program namin. Meaning, hindi po kayo pwedeng kumuha ng medical, carers allowance, or rehabilitation kung hindi po kayo mag-a-apply muna ng sickness or disability benefits because this is our principal benefits. Yung medical, carers allowance, rehabilitation, these are only ancillary benefits. Meaning, ano lang to, dagdag benepisyo. Okay? Then also, we have our death and funeral benefits in case of death ng ating mga empleyado related to their work. Now, ang sickness benefit po, or ang disability benefit po, meron po tayong tatlo na kinds of disability. We have temporary, total, we have permanent total, and we have permanent partial disability benefit. Ang mga classification po ng disability na to will also distinguish or meron pong may pagkaiba po yung makukuhang benepisyo dito. Ang basihan po kung paano po magbibigay ng benepisyo ang Employees Compensation Commission. Now, when it comes to sickness benefit or temporary total disability benefit, meron po kaming binibigay na 200 pesos a day for the public and 480 pesos per day for the maximum for the private sector employees. May karagdagan na makukuhang sickness benefit by the private sector or the government sector sa kanilang benepisyo doon. So meron kaming Employees Compensation Program sickness benefit. Example, in the private sector, kapag ang isang seaman po ay nabalian, nag-apply po siya ng EC, sickness benefit, worth for 100 days, then that is 100 days times 480 pesos maximum per day. That is for the Employees Compensation Sickness Benefit. The benefits are over and above po sa benepisyo na makukuha niya under Social Security. So, pwede din siyang kumuha ng 100 days sickness benefit doon sa Social Security system. So, pwede pong dalawa yung kunin niya. Social Security and Employees Compensation Benefits. Dalawa po. Pwede yon. Pwede ding isa lang. Pwede din pong sa kanila lang sa Social Security kasi hindi po work connected sa amin. Depende. Depende po yan. But there's a possibility na pwede pong makuha yung dalawang magkaibang benepisyo. So ito po yung maximum natin, 480 for private and 200 po for public sector employees. Maybe it's a little medyo maliit po ito for those people who are earning much. But when it comes to our minimum wage earners, yung mga empleyado po natin na nagtatrabaho po considered minimum wage earners, these are very big help po, lalo na po kapag kasi yung binabayaran po namin dito, yung incapacity to work while they are having disability dahil po sa kanilang trabaho. Kailangan po nilang mag-absent kasi kailangan po nilang magpagaling. Kailangan po nilang magpahinga kasi hindi po nila kayang magtrabaho. Yung araw po na nag-absent sila from the time na nagkasakit or na-aksidente sila, we will be paying that as part of our EC sickness benefit because the Employees Compensation Program is a benefit that will support our workers while they are incapacitated to work because of their work-related contingency. Yan po yung purpose ng mga benepisyo under the Employees Compensation Program. Meron din po tayong permanent partial disability benefit. So, this pertains to physical loss or functional loss. Meaning, may naputol po sa inyo, amputated kayo, naputol po yung parts of the body natin in relation to our work or nawala po yung function. So meaning, hindi po kailangan maputol yung kamay natin. The mere fact na hindi po natin magagamit yung kamay natin, it may constitute permanent partial disability. Depende po yan sa evaluation po ng ating mga medical evaluators. Okay? So ito po yung equivalent under the Employees Compensation Program ng ating mga parts of the body which we usually use in our work or in our job na pwede pong maputol at corresponding months po na pwede pong makover or as part of the pension. So kapag naputol po yung one arm natin, that is a 50 months pension. 50 months pension. However, there's a condition that kailangan sagad sa buto yung pagputol niyan because one arm meron po tayong limit dyan. So if half lang, then it will depend on the gravity kung ano po yung kung gaano po kalala yung naputol or nawala po yung function sa parts of the body natin. So eto lang po yung mako-cover namin. Ang wala po dito, you can file that under employees compensation sickness, or probably if it's really work connected, then it may be permanent total disability. So yung permanent total disability po natin, ito po yung forever na. Meaning, you're totally and permanently incapacitated na to work. So ano po yan? Ito po yung granted sa mga disability gaya po na pagkabulag, okay? Pagkawala po ng dalawang kamay or paa, and then brain injury resulting to imbecility or insanity. So nabago po yung ulo and then naging imbecile or naging insane, pwede po maging considered na permanently and totally disabled. So magkano po yung tinatanggap natin dyan? It will be based on your monthly salary credit, but the pension is guaranteed for life until death. So habang po nabubuhay yung empleyado na yan or yung kliyente na yan who are considered a permanently and totally disabled, tumatanggap siya ng pension guaranteed for life until death. Okay? However, there's a condition that he needs to submit medical report, subject himself to quarterly medical examination, and it will be the permanent total disability pension may be suspended if he failed to present for examination, to submit quarterly medical report, or fully recovered na siya, or gainfully employed. Meaning, if gainfully employed, he or she was again hired kung saan previously nagtatrabaho siya. Kung seaman siya ngayon. Okay, seafarer, na aksidente, nabalda siya, o nabulag siya, o naputol yung kamay niya, o nabulag. Binigyan po ng Employees Compensation Program permanent total disability pension forever. Okay, pension, monthly, or lump sum. However, after 2 years, na-rehire siya, bumalik siya as a seaman. Umakyat ulit ng barko. Doon na sa Spain or doon na sa labas, abroad na. Gainfully employed ba siya? Yes, because bumalik siya sa pagiging seaman. Meaning, the pension na binigay po ng Employees Compensation Program may be suspended because there's no reason to provide pension because he or she is not anymore considered permanently and totally disabled. So yan lang po yun. Okay? We have also medical benefits. We are reimbursing medical expenses and medicines based on the out-of-pocket expense of the employee. So kailangan muna ma-consume po natin or ma-exhaust po natin yung PhilHealth benefits natin. And then yung mga out-of-pocket expense po natin hindi po nako-cover, pwede po ma-cover under the Employees Compensation Program, but not 100%. Meron po kaming ceiling doon kung magkano lang po yung re-reimburse namin. Okay? Ngayon, i-apply nyo lang po sa amin and i-submit nyo po sa amin yung mga resibo po natin or yung mga resibo po natin ng mga out-of-pocket expense po natin when it comes to your medical expenses. Okay? In relation to your work-related na sakit or aksidente. Sir, wala po kaming original na mga resibo kasi sinabit na po namin sa PhilHealth or sinabit na po namin sa HMO namin or sinabit na po namin sa mga insurances namin. Paano po yan? You can submit a certified true copy po ng mga resibo nyo because we are accepting certified true copies of your resibo or official receipt. Pwede po yan. Okay, sa amin. As long as it will be certified kung saan nyo po sinambit yan. Okay? So we are reimbursing hospital confinement, medical attendance by the doctor, surgical expense benefit, and cost of medicines, specifically out-of-pocket expense of the particular employee concerned. Okay? Meron din po tayong death with funeral benefit. Ito po yung mga benepisyo sa mga empleyado po na namatay ng dahil po sa kanyang trabaho. Or ito po yung mga benepisyo para sa mga empleyado na nagkaroon po ng work-related na sakit, work-related na aksidente, and consequently, namatay po dahil po sa work-related na aksidente or disability or sakit na yun. Okay? Meron po tayong pension po sa mga beneficiary. So the beneficiary will be determined by the provisions of our existing laws, kung sino po yung beneficiary. Of course, yung mga anak po natin, may mga additional percentage po dyan when it comes to the pension, plus 10% for each dependent child not to exceed 5. And then sa our legal spouse po natin. Funeral benefit worth 30,000 for private and public sector employees. So, meron po kayong burial benefit under the Social Security. Meron din po kayong funeral benefit under the Government Service Insurance System. Magdagdag pa ng funeral benefit of 30,000 both in the private and the public sector si Employees Compensation Commission. Okay? Yung death pension that is monthly, it may be lump sum or monthly pension. Depende po yan na ibibigay po natin sa beneficiary. Okay? Yan po yung death with funeral benefit. Okay? Yung death pension, binabayad po yan sa beneficiary. Yung funeral benefit, binabayad po yan kung sino po yung nagbayad ng pagpalibing sa ating sa concern po na empleyado. Kung sino po yung namatay, sino po yung nagpalibing, sino po yung nagbayad po, sino po yung may hawak ng resibo. Siya po yung makakakuha ng funeral benefit of 30,000 because this is reimbursement. Yung pension, hindi po yan. Automatic po yan sa beneficiary natin. Cash assistance. Ang cash assistance po namin, nagbibigay po kami ng 10,000 for disability or sickness claim. So, kapag nag-file po kayo ng disability or sickness claim, meron po kayong additional 10,000 po na cash assistance sa Employees Compensation Commission. 15,000 po for death claim kapag namatay po ang empleyado, except po sa pension na matatanggap. And then, sa funeral benefit na 30,000, meron po karagdagang 15,000 for death claim as part of our cash assistance benefit na ibibigay po ng Employees Compensation Commission sa atin pong sa beneficiary po ng ating or pamilya po ng ating mga empleyado. And also, we have one of our flagship program right now, our Employees Compensation and Rehabilitation Services. We have our program Katulong at Gabay sa Manggagawang May Kapansanan program, where we provide free therapy sessions, assistive devices, mga prosthetic arm, prosthetic legs, free skills and intrapreneurial training with starter kit of 20,000 and additional 10,000 complementary kit if okay po yung pagmamanage nila ng kanila or na-sustain nila yung kanang mga livelihood or business nila na binigay po ng Employees Compensation Commission. And we are very proud po sa Employees Compensation Commission that during po the celebration of Labor Day last year, we have publicized that the Employees Compensation Commission will be preparing for the establishment and the operation of our Workers Rehabilitation Center complex. Okay? Intended po yan sa mga empleyado po natin or mga workers po natin or yung mga na meron pong work-connected disability under the Employees Compensation Program. So, we will be may plan na po yan for construction and hopefully later ma-start na po yung namin, yung Workers Rehabilitation Center Complex. Ito po yung main program namin sa Employees Compensation Commission. So maganda po yung future ng mga services na may bibigay po namin because it would be high standard, best quality services, rehabilitation services for our disabled or persons with work-related disabilities. So, isa yan sa mga main project ng Department of Labor and Employment through the Employees Compensation Commission. And we have also our Return to Work Assistance Program. Ito po, matagal na po namin itong ginagawa, but we have starting to institutionalize this with a main purpose to provide prompt help through early contact and early intervention. And we aim to help workers and employers to return workers with disabling injuries to their employment. So meron tayong choices dito. In partnership with the employers, they can rehire yung worker na yan sa dati niyang trabaho or bigyan ng bagong trabaho which is lesser yung trabaho para makaya niya based sa disability niya, or probably pwede namin i-partner sa ibang company or ibang workplace na fit yung kanyang disability in relation to that particular demands of a particular position. So ito po yung main purpose po ng Return to Work Assistance Program namin. Yung mga empleyado or yung mga persons with work-related disabilities na gusto pang bumalik sa kanilang trabaho, na hindi pa napapagod at gusto pang magbalik sa main, to be part of the main of the society, na gusto pang i-uplift yung kanilang confidence, and they want to work because they want to contribute to the society, then we can help them. We can partner, we can mediate, and then we can help them, or we can be a bridge para po sa mga employers natin na we can still help yung mga persons with work-related disabilities po natin. Alright? So yan po yung mga benepisyo under the Employees Compensation Program. So paano po natin makiklaim yon? Again, going back, ang ating benepisyo po ay meron pong, ang amin pong program, meron pong dalawang administering agency. Dito po sa left, yung public sector employees or the government service insurance system. Dito po sa right, yung private sector under the social security system. So doon po tayo magpa-file ng claim natin for employees compensation claim sa pinakamalapit na branch po kung saan po tayo under. Kapag private worker kayo mag-file sa pinakamalapit na social security branch sa inyong lugar. Hindi kailangan pumunta ng Maynila kasi our policy requires or provides the best or the most convenient na process para po sa ating mga empleyado. Kung sa kabilang barangay merong social security system, hindi na mag-apply because it still be processed with the social security system. The challenge lang dito is, what if the social security system branch will deny your claim? Ano pong gagawin natin? You can file a motion for consideration, okay, sa social security system based po sa kanilang denial. Usually, dinideny lang yung claim natin because hindi po related sa work. Okay? Minsan, binabalik din ng social security system or ini-inform tayo ng social security system na kulang po yung ating mga dokumento. Pero hindi po yan denial. Ang denial po should be based on the reason na hindi po work-related yung nangyari sa inyo. So, hindi po ding mag-deny ang social security system because kulang yung dokumento mo. They will deny that because dahil kulang yung dokumento mo, hindi related sa work yung nangyari or hindi mo na-establish ang burden of proof na ma-prove na mayroong connection yung trabaho mo at yung nangyari sa yung aksidente or sakit or pagkamatay. Now, what if nag-motion for reconsideration ka na, pero hindi pa din na-approve yung claim mo under Social Security System for your Employees Compensation Program? Tapos na ba yung ating, wala na ba tayong pag-asa? No, you can still appeal under to the Employees Compensation Commission sa amin na. You can go directly to the Makati office. You can file the claim sa amin. Pwede nyo ipadaan dito sa amin sa Employees Compensation Regional Office Extension Unit. By the way, for the information of everyone, lahat po ng regions namin ngayon, lahat po ng regions sa buong Pilipinas, ay meron na po tayong Employees Compensation Regional Extension Units. And they are manned by regional information officers and regional administrative officers who are ready to help you for your employees compensation program, processing and benefits, and any inquiry na pwede po naming maitulong sa inyo. So you may file your appeal under the Employees Compensation Commission. Na-deny pa din under ECC, you can file an appeal under the Court of Appeals. However, in the Court of Appeals, you need to have your own lawyer. Okay? So pwede ka mag-appeal doon. You can avail the services of PAO or you can avail a private lawyer to help you appeal in the Court of Appeals. If still denied under the Court of Appeals, then you can still appeal to the Supreme Court, which is the last resort natin. So after the Supreme Court, wala na po tayo doon. Okay? Kapag na-deny ng Supreme Court, magiging jurisprudence po tayo. Parte na po kayo na mga desisyon ng Employees Compensation Commission. So baka later, kasama po kayo sa lecture namin kasi meron na po tayong mga basihan ng mga kaso kung saan po pwede pong i-expand yung mga pulisiya ng Employees Compensation Commission. However, for now, meron lang po kaming mga pulisiya when it comes to injuries, yung 8 po na ni-discuss natin kanina, and mga policies po natin na existing po ngayon. How to avail the process? Usually, in the private sector, ito po yung mga forms na in-accomplish po natin. Okay? Of course, very important, kailangan i-attach natin yung Certificate of Employment because it's very important. Kasi, paano magiging work connected? Paano mo mamamit yung qualification na empleyado ka and may work related ka na sakit, accident, pagkamatay? Certificate of Employment. Okay? Job description, kasi kailangan natin malaman kung ang nangyari sa iyo ay parte ba ng trabaho mo. Or baka trabaho mo HR pero umakyat ka doon at umakyat ka sa itaas at inayos mo yung electrical wires niyo, yung mga electricity. May kinalaman ba yung trabaho na yan sa pagiging HR? Well, if in your job description kasama yon, then it might be work connected. That's why we are asking for your job description. In the government, updated service record or duties and responsibilities, because these are the very documents which can prove if there is really a connection when it comes to the work and what happened or to the accident or the sickness or to the death of a particular employee. Medical hospital records, of course. We need the diagnosis of the doctor if to what extent yung nangyari sa inyo. Ano pang gravity na yan? Permanent total ba yan? Permanent partial? Or sickness benefit only? Kasi that will be the basis for the provision of the benefits. Okay? Mas malaki yung makukuha ng naputulan kaysa sa umubo lang. Kaysa sa nabalian lang. Kapag naputol, mas malaki yung makukuha. Kapag mas malaki yun. So, the medical and hospital records would be the basis for the provision of the benefits. Kung magkano yung benepisyo na ibibigay. Incident, accident, police report, and barangay report. These documents are very helpful to establish facts which usually are happening outside the company. Yung incident report, ito po yung ginagawa ng mga immediate supervisor natin kapag may nangyari po sa kanilang mga subordinates or mga empleyado nila. Accident, police report, ito po yung madalas usually binibigay if there are third parties involved, lalo na kapag nangyari po yung mga aksidente sa labas ng opisina na or outside the workplace na, pauwi ka. Makikita ba ng immediate supervisor mo yon? Siyempre, usually makakakita ng police report, police na, or yung mga mga peace officers natin. So, accident and police report yon. Barangay report usually very helpful to sa mga self-employed members. Okay? So, yung mga self-employed members, at the least, they can prove na may nangyari sa kanilang work-related by availing or by providing as barangay report that yung nangyari talaga sa kanila ay part po ng trabaho nila or while they are working. Okay? Kasi yung barangay, yan po yung usually, yung nakakakita if yung isang tao ba dyan talaga ay manicurista, yung isang tao ba dyan ay tricycle driver, yung isang tao ba dyan ay ambulant vendor, sa kanilang barangay, siya ba ay kasambahay? So the barangay report may contribute or may be used as an evidence to prove that there is really work connection sa nangyari po sa isang empleyado at sa kanya at nangyari po in relation po sa kanilang aksidente or pagkamatay or sakit. And very important, everyone, the employees compensation logbook. This is the logbook. I believe this was discussed last week by Occupational Safety and Health topic. Okay. Previously, our EC logbook requires only the employers to present the name of the employee, the date, the place, and the nature of contingencies, and the number of days that the worker was absent. Okay. For work upon filing of the employee's compensation claims with the Social Security or the GSIS. However, we set forth we have amended version. Okay, we added, the Employees Compensation Commission added 2 additional details. Okay, the date of the logbook entry or the date when the contingency was recorded on the logbook, and the date of the notification. Okay? The date of the notification of the incident to the Social Security System or the GSIS. Remember, everyone, the amendment aims to help our employers to properly record, okay, the details of the contingency of that particular worker. Okay? So, remember, kailangan they need to report and notify the SSS within the prescribed period. Under the law, we have 5 days. Okay? The employer has 5 days to submit the same to Social Security System or the GSIS. Okay? Now, if the employer failed to record the logbook, okay, to record in the logbook the details, okay, they may be liable for 50% of the lump sum equivalent to the income benefit to which that particular employee or that particular worker may be entitled under the EC program. So this is a responsibility intended, okay, and a responsibility by the employer. Okay? Hindi to pwedeng, ay, pwede bang magbayad din na kami? No. Hindi pwede yan. Okay? Pwede pa magbayad. Pero 50% lump sum yon. Meaning, babayaran namin si employee ng 100%, pero sisingilin kayo namin through our administering agency ng 50% penalty nyo because you failed, okay, to record that in the logbook or the EC logbook. This is not merely a formal requirement. This is required under the law, okay? At meron po itong corresponding penalties as part of the duties of our employees. Okay? Meron po tayong 3 taon to file the claim. Kanina ba yun? Or kahapon? Kanina yun. May pa-exam. Meron pong yung usual po namin na radio session na hosted po ng aming executive director. Yung exam kanina is ano yung prescriptive period to file the employees compensation program. Under the law, meron po tayong 3 taon from the time of sickness, injury, or death to file the claim. This is also in relation to all monetary claims under the labor code. So meron po tayong 3 taon doon. So meaning, kapag may nangyari, file agad. Huwag mo lang hintayin yung 3 taon kasi baka mali yung pagbilang mo, sumobra na ng 3 taon, then yun, prescribed na yun. Meaning, you cannot anymore claim your rights or your benefits because it was prescribed, because under the law, there's a limitation. Okay? Prescriptive period is the limitation for you assert your rights and availment of the benefits under the law. Now, meron po bang exception dito? Meron kaming tinatawag na constructive filing. If that particular employee had already filed his or her Social Security claim, SSS claim, okay? Pwede pong he or she can still file the employee's compensation claim kahit po more than 3 years na yun. Okay? Provided, okay, na file niya yung SSS claim niya, okay, for that particular disability. Okay? Na aksidente yung isang empleyado, year 2000 aksidente. Yung na-file niya, Social Security claim niya lang. Hindi niya na-file yung employee's compensation claim. Pwede pa ba siya mag-file ng claim under employee's compensation program? There is a possibility provided that na-file niya yung Social Security claim niya for that particular injury, sickness, or particular death of a particular employee. Pero, we don't need to avail the constructive filing as long as na-aksidente, nagkasakit, or namatay yung isang empleyado. You tell the family, you tell the employee, that particular employee, file agad. Huwag nang hintayin na sumobra ng 3 taon para wala kayong problema. Okay, file agad. General rule, 3 years po yan, 3 taon. Okay, so, I guess we have substantially presented the employees compensation program, but to end po yung talk ko, remember po na yung Employees Compensation Commission po ay sa ilalim po yan ng Department of Labor and Employment. And we are one with the Department of Labor and Employment that we prioritize prevention. We prioritize safety and health. Okay? Yung compensation po, yung pera, hindi po yan sapat para po sa mga pwedeng mangyari sa atin. So sa amin po, we are encouraging everyone. We are encouraging the companies to comply. We are encouraging the workers to be safe and to follow company policy and safety and health law para po walang aksidente. Kasi po yung aksidente po, hindi lang po yan direct effect po sa atin. May epekto po yan sa mga anak natin, sa pamilya natin, sa mga kaibigan natin, and the productivity of your co-employees in your particular organization. So, salamat po sa pag-invite po sa amin dito, and we are ready po to take questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Attorney Stephen Barredo. And also on behalf of BWC, we want to congratulate you for celebrating the 50th anniversary of the ECC this month. Salamat po for sharing information about the Employees Compensation Program of the ECC. So I am sure na maraming natutunan ang ating mga viewers sa ating webinar, and check ko na marami rin silang tanong. So mangyari lamang po na i-type ninyo ang inyong mga questions sa ating comment section, and if ever na hindi namin masagot ito lahat, yung social media team natin ang bahala dyan. So let us check the questions submitted by our Facebook viewers. So para sa unang tanong, for how many years po ang retention ng ECC logbook? Ano po ba ang minimal penalty kapag nawala ang ECC logbook?
Retention, forever. Forever po yan yung ano natin, yung yung responsibility po ng employer natin when it comes to the logbook. It's forever yan. Habang as long as you are having a business in the Philippines and you are having an employee under you, or you are employing a particular worker, you need to maintain logbook. Okay? Kasi yung logbook yun forever na record nyo na yan eh. You can do it annually, you can do it but as long as when our administering agency, the Social Security or the Government Service Insurance System will visit your company or will require you to provide logbook, you are ready to provide it. Ano po yung minimal penalty? Yung minimal penalty provided under the law is 50% of the lump sum. Depende po kung magkano pong makukuha ng benepisyo ng isang empleyado. Kapag namatay po yung empleyado na yon, and then malaki po yung makukuha niya, that is 50% of the lump sum na makukuha ang benepisyo ng empleyado. The higher the makukuha ni empleyado, the higher the penalty because it's 50%. It's based on the benefits na makukuha po ng ating empleyado. So ano po yung moral when it comes to that particular situation? You need to comply. Kasi kapag nag-comply, imagine that's only recording. When you record, dyan lang naman sa opisina nyo yan eh. Kapag may na-aksidente, record lang naman. Ipa-record mo sa HR or ipa-record mo sa company nurse nyo kapag meron pong na-aksidente, nagkasakit o namatay. Regardless if it's fatality, if it's permanent total disability, or if it's even if it's first aid injury, even maternity, may nabuntis mo dyan, may sumakit yung ulo, may na-heartbroken, ilagay lahat sa logbook. Okay? It's better to err, okay? To over compliance rather than sabihin natin hindi natin i-record yan kasi hindi man work-related yan. The definition of work-relatedness will be determined by the employee's compensation or our administering agency. Our employers has only the duty to record the contingencies regardless if it's related or not in the EC logbook. Yes.
Okay, attorney, for our next question, does ECC compensate work-related mental health conditions?
Actually, this is a very good question, no? In the past, our executive director, former executive director, in behalf of the commission, had issued a statement that we cover mental health conditions. Yes, we are not closing our doors to any illness or diseases, okay? Even mental health conditions. Again, the burden of proof to prove that it is work-connected, it will still be for the workers. Okay? Kailangan i-prove nyo lang na work-related. We will pay or we will provide benefits if the mental health is really work-related. However, based on the circumstances that we have here in our country, mental health conditions and of course, experts will agree. Okay? Sasabihin ko yung mga doctors natin. It's not purely work-related. So medyo mahirap yun. Himay-himayin or i-prove na work-related yun. But sa amin, what we can assure is, if there is a substantial, okay, evidence that you can prove na, yes, the mental health condition of this particular employee had had been caused by work or the conditions or the environment in the work, then probably we'll pay that. We'll surely pay. Okay.
Paano naman po kung denied yung SSS sickness claim due to late filing dahil na late si employee sa mga supporting documents? How can we process yung EC claims niya provided na work-related naman yung accident?
Again po, hindi po pwedeng ma-deny yung EC claim or hindi pwedeng maging balakid ang kulang na dokumento para po sa isang empleyado para po ma-approve yung kanyang employees compensation claim. Usually po dinideny yung claim natin under EC because ang nangyari po sa isang empleyado ay hindi po work connected. Yun lang po yun. Kung kulang po yung supporting documents, pwede po yung resubmit. Yun yung term natin. Pwede pong isubmit yan. Remember, meron po tayong 3 taon para i-file ang claim. Pwede pong ma-extend yung 3 taon na yan if you have filed your Social Security System claim beforehand. Okay? Pwede po yan. Pero meron po tayong 3 taon to file the claim. Within the 3 years, as long as you can comply your supporting documents, it can still be accepted and the benefits under EC can still be provided. Yun po yun. So, hindi po pwedeng na late lang yung filing. Yung late kasi, it will be determined or it will be defined. Kung more than 3 years na, nag-prescribe na, yun yung late na hindi na pwedeng kumuha ng benepisyo. Pero nag-late ka lang ng 1 buwan, 2 buwan, 3 buwan, 1 taon, pwede pang i-claim yan kasi 3 taon po from the time of last confinement or sickness, from the time of aksidente or from the time of pagkamatay, pwede pong maklaim yung benepisyo under EC claim.
Ano po ba ang makukuha ng empleyado sa ECC kapag siya ay naaksidente during work?
Ayun po yung discussion natin kanina. You can get income benefits, including sickness benefit, permanent partial benefits, permanent total benefits. Depende po sa yung extent po ng injury na meron po yung ating isang empleyado or disability. Pwede din pong medical benefits, yung mga hospital confinement, medical attendance with the doctor, surgical expense benefit, and reimbursements of cost of medicines which are out-of-pocket expense by the employee. And cash assistance, death in case namatay, funeral benefits, pension para po sa mga pamilya natin, and rehabilitation. So, I would like to to inform everyone na yung Employees Compensation Commission we are not only providing monetary compensation. What we are providing also are new chance para po sa mga persons with work-related disabilities namin. Yung iba pong mga benepisyo sa other government agencies, kapag naibigay na po yung monetary compensation, tapos na sa amin, we do not stop there. As long as that persons with work-related disabilities wanted to go back or to be rehabilitated, to be reintegrated, we can still provide rehabilitation services. Meron po kami mga rehabilitation. Madami po yan under our katulong at gabay sa manggagawang may kapansanan and our return to work program. Pwede po namin silang hanapan ng bagong trabaho or a partner sa mga employers if the employers are willing to accept them to be employed again. So marami po kaming benepisyo in case po meron pong aksidente dahil po sa work.
Paano po kami makikipag-ugnayan sa ECC?
you can call po the you can check po our Facebook account um, at ECC at ecc.official, or you can check po our website ecc.gov.ph, or you can visit our main office po sa Senator Hill Puyat Avenue, Makati City, or you can check po our website. Meron po kaming directory dyan ng mga regional extension units po namin. Basically po, everyone, ang employees compensation po sa ating mga regions ay naka-house po sa Department of Labor and Employment. Pwede po kayong makipag-ugnayan sa DOLE kasi yung mga ECC offices ay andyan lang naman sa DOLE, or if hindi, malapit lang sa DOLE. So, madali po kaming hanapin kung kailangan nyo po ng assistance when it comes, or inquiry when it comes to your employees compensation claim.
What if the accident happens in the workplace but it is not work-related?
Then wala pong benepisyo na makukuha under ECC. Okay po. Very strict po kami sa ating qualification na work-related. The burden of proof to prove that there is a connection when it comes to work and when it comes to the accident or the sickness lies to the persons or to the employees who are claiming such. So kung hindi po work-related, wala pong benepisyo. Pwede po kayong kumuha sa SSS, Pag-ibig, or PhilHealth. Pero sa ECC, wala pa tayong makukuha kasi work-related lang.
Paano naman po yung mga work from home ang setup? Covered din po ba sila?
Yes po. Meron na. Actually, good po ito, Ma'am Nep, no, na question. Kasi due to yung pandemic po natin lately, most of us, meron po tayong work from home setup. So naglabas po yung Employees Compensation Commission ng isang polisiya, okay, na yung mga injuries sustained by our employees or our workers in the public and the private sector while in the performance of their duties and assigned tasks in their dwelling or in their residence are covered under the Employees Compensation Program. What they need to do is to provide us a proof na authorized sila na mag-work from home. Okay? Bali ang work from home na yan, kung saan ka man, basta nag-work from home ka, extension yan ng workplace mo, ng opisina mo. Bakit? Kasi there is an authorization for your company that you are authorized to work from home. So, okay, pwede niya ma-consider as work-related as long as may nangyari sa inyo na in relation to your work or the working environment sa loob ng inyong bahay or sa dwelling place natin. Pwede po.
How to file for ECC claims?
Yun po yun kanina. You need to go to the nearest Social Security branch in your locality or Government Service Insurance branch in your locality. Get your application forms for employees compensation, attach, get the list of requirements, comply, attach, file. Remember, this is very important. File that to the Social Security system or the Government Service Insurance system. Wala pong pina-file directly sa amin, sa Employees Compensation Program, ang komisyon. Kasi po, ang aming administering agency. Sa private, ang Social Security System, and in the government, the GSIS. So sila po yung may trabaho para po tanggapin ang mga aplikasyon at mga requirements ninyo for your EC claim. Sila din po yung mag-i-evaluate, sila din po yung magbabayad. Saan po kukunin yung pera? Kukunin po yan sa pera ng Employees Compensation Commission na tinatawag po nating State Insurance Fund. Doon po kukunin. Magkaiba pong cheque yung makukuha mo for your Social Security benefits and for your Employees Compensation Program benefit. Yun lang po yan.
Paano naman po kapag galing sa client yung employee tapos pumunta sa isang sponsored activity? Covered pa rin ba ito? Hindi kasi siya pasok dun sa number 4 at wala pa ito sa sponsored activity.
Actually, yung number 2 na performing official function, that is a catch-all provision or catch-all situation. As long as yung pagpunta mo sa kliyente, it's part of your work, and then pupunta ka sa sponsored activity which you are required by your company, it's still related or it's still considered work-connected. Yung 8 instances natin, it doesn't mean na separately sila. Pwede nyo silang i-mix doon. Mas madami, mas maganda. Okay? Papunta ka ng client, that's official work. Pupunta ka sa sponsored activity because you are required. Because it's sponsored by the company. Of course, cover yun. Dalawa ka na eh. Nakahit ka na ng dalawa. Covered yun. Part yun ng work connected. Work connection or work connected na mga instances po natin.
Ito naman po, what if nasa loob ka ng trabaho mo at ginalaw ang industrial fan for her comfort? Then, aksidenteng pumasok ang kanyang daliri sa fan at naputol ang daliri. Kasama pa rin ba ito na i-consider na compensable?
Of course. Remember, remember, sabi ko kanina, pino-cover natin yung mga injury or aksidente based po sa dalawang instances. Na-aksidente dahil po sa kanyang trabaho at na-aksidente sa loob po ng kanyang trabaho. So, siya po yung na-aksidente sa loob ng kanyang trabaho while, okay, ginalaw niya yung industrial fan. Is yung paggalaw ba niya sa industrial fan is against company policy? Is it against the law? Di ba hindi naman? So basically, it may be work connected kasi andyan naman siya sa loob ng trabaho niya. And so, kapag mainit, pwede mo namang galawin yung industrial fan. So, it may be work connected. Pwede po yung maging compensable. Okay? Pero kung malas nyo, no, bakit niya napasok yung kamay niya sa industrial fan? So, is it notorious negligence? Kayo nga nagsabi, aksidente. When it is an accident, most probably, ano po yan? It's unintended. Wala pong intention na ipasok ang kanyang kamay. Pero, if intentionally, pinasok talaga yung kamay niya kasi gusto niya lang maging sentro ng attention, then that would be a problem. That is a willful intent to injure oneself, which is a disqualification under the program.
Paano naman po kung halimbawa company-initiated activity like Christmas party, minsan hindi naiiwasan ng inuman, so na-aksidente sa area or habang pauwi? Paano po yun?
That would be an instance that will be determined by our medical evaluators. Kasi madami tayong mga ano dito ay mga issue dito. First of all, yung inuman ba required ni company na mag-inuman? If i-require ni company yan, does the company nagva-violate ba yung company ng safety and health in the workplace? Kasi kapag i-justify niya na required kayong uminom, that would be a problem against sa kanila kasi may 25% penalty yan when it comes to the failure of companies or the employers to accord when it comes to safety and health devices under the EC law. Okay? Kaso na aksidente sa area o while pauwi. It might be you will be disqualified probably because you're intoxicated. Okay? It will depend. For now, I cannot answer this, but what I can assure is pwede kayong mag-file. But based po sa tanong na to, madami pong issue. There is a possibility na madi-deny ito. Kasi there are a lot of violations when it comes to safety and health. And kami sa DOLE and sa ECC, we do not encourage you to drink sa Christmas party. Kung gusto mong uminom, huwag ka nang mag-claim kasi baka hindi yan ma-approve kasi it's violation. Oo. And sure ako na hindi yan i-justify ni company. Sino ba namang company yung mag-certify na pinainom kayo lahat? Di ba? So hindi yan. There's a medyo maliit yung chance na ma-approve to. Pero again, it's your right to file your claim. Wala namang problem yung mag-file lang kayo. Depende na yan kung i-approve namin later in the
What if naka-duty po yung empleyado tapos lumabas sa office without informing the immediate superior or supervisor at nagkaroon ng aksidente? Pasok pa rin po ba ito sa ECC?
This is in relation to notorious negligence. Yung paglabas ba without informing your immediate supervisor will constitute notorious negligence? Was it done several times? Is it included in the company policy na kapag lumabas ka, you are considered notorious negligent? It will depend. It will depend. I cannot speak for the general public or for the general clients. Kasi it may be taken against me later kapag makota ko. Pero kapag paulit-ulit na lumalabas tapos hindi nag-i-inform at na-aksidente, lalo na kapag nire-record niya ng company, it may constitute notorious negligence. Notorious negligence. However, there are also cases which it will be considered simple negligence only. It will depend. It will depend on the documents, on the circumstances na applicable po sa case na yan. Okay? Pwede siyang ma-approve, pwede din siyang mag-disapprove. Yun po. Pero of course, ma'am, no, kailangan lang labang paglabas natin, make sure naka-pass slip kayo, locator slip kayo, or naka-inform kayo sa immediate supervisor nyo. Kasi, paano naman mare-record paano malalaman ng employer nyo kung ano nangyari sa inyo kung hindi niya alam kung saan kayo pumunta. That's why minsan hindi natin mabiblame yung employers natin na hindi alam kung ano nangyayari sa kanilang mga empleyado kasi yung empleyado hindi mo nag-inform. O sumakit yung ulo mo, nag-absent ka lang, hindi ka nag-inform. Can you blame your employers if they did not record that in the logbook? Di ba hindi? Ganun.
So, paano natin malalaman kung notorious negligence ang ginawa ng isang worker?
The notorious negligence actually is determined by the circumstances of a particular case, different circumstances of each case. Okay, so it will be determined by based on legal evaluation, based on the circumstances, if that particular act of an employee constitute harm sa co-workers niya, or paulit-ulit ba yan when it comes to duration, kung ilang beses niya nagawin yan, ano ba yung possible effects if ginawa niya yan. It will be determined by a lot of circumstances or factors. So I cannot say if a particular act is notorious negligence or not, or is simple negligence or not. Right? It will be determined by the circumstances of each case.
How about yung mga surgical operations? Could it be considered as a partial disability?
Meron po tayong sa partial disability, meron po tayong doon na specific. That's why specific po yung parts of the body na pwede pong makunan ng permanent partial disability. However, if that particular surgical operation results to a particular disability, as long as it's work-connected, it will be, yung mga medical evaluators namin kasi nag-ano naman yun, pwede naman nila ma-consider yun. If it's not total, then it would be partial. Okay? Pero the law kasi, ang EC law, yung very specific yung mga provided na pwede ma-consider as permanent partial disability. So it only involves amputation and mga loss of function. Surgical operation, probably you can file that as sickness benefit and supplement it with medical reimbursement that you can apply under Employees Compensation Program. But if the surgical operation nag-create ng isang disability which may be considered partial, then you can file that. You can file that and you can claim benefits under partial disability pension.
After her sickness claim was paid by the SSS, can the employee still file ECC claims? Or should the employer be the one responsible for filing her EC claims?
Remember, everyone, ang benepisyo na po na ito ay benepisyo po para sa mga empleyado. Kung benepisyo nyo, kayo yung magpa-file. Okay? Ngayon, sa tanong naman na kapag na-approve na yung sickness claim by Social Security, pwede pa bang mag-claim for EC? Yes. Kasi yung Social Security na sickness claim, iba yon. Yung sa amin, iba din. So, dapat dalawa yung makukuha natin. Ngayon, usually, as per practice, ang Social Security sickness claim, yung nagpa-file nyo, yung mga employer. Kasi nire-reimburse yun. Ang EC, pwede din si employer mag-file, provided na ibibigay sa inyo yung benepisyo. Remember, sa inyo yun, yung benepisyo na yun, hindi sa kanila. Okay? So, who is the main principally responsible
to file the claim ang mga empleyado. Pero it doesn't mean hindi pwedeng tumulong sa employer. If your employer is very helpful, well and good. Why? It will make your life easier. Oh, wag po tayong mag-away kay employer. Or wag natin awayin si employee at the same time. Kasi mas maganda yung buhay if okay kayo ng employer.
Okay, so that was our last question. Thank you, attorney, for answering the questions of our Facebook Live viewers. And that concludes our webinar for today. So, salamat sa mga viewers natin na nag-send ng kanilang mga questions at sa active participation po nila sa ating Webinar Wednesday. So, muli, isang reminder lang po na kahit na meron tayong mga programa para sa work-related accidents, illnesses, or death, ay mag-ingat pa rin tayong lahat ng mga magagawa, public man or private sector, habang tayo ay nagtatrabaho. Huwag nawa natin nahangarin pa na magkasakit, maaksidente, or bawian ng buhay para lamang makuha yung mga benepisyo or programa ng ECC. Ingatan natin ang ating buhay at kalusugan. Importanteng sundin ang mga occupational safety and health programs and workplace policies para sa isang ligtas at malusog na lugar na paggawa. Pero minsan, hindi talaga yan maiiwasan. May nagkakasakit, na aksidente, or worse, binabawian ng buhay. So at least, hindi na kayo mangangamba dahil merong mga program at benepisyo para dyan. At sagot kayo ng ECC. So, if you have further questions about the Employees Compensation Program of the ECC, you may visit their website, ecc.gov.ph, or follow their Facebook page, Employees Compensation Commission, to know more about their programs and services. Pwede rin kayo mag-send sa amin ng email at ask@bwc.dole.gov.ph or call our Dole hotline 1349. I-follow nyo na rin ang aming Facebook page, BWC1949, para updated kayo sa mga announcements and activities ng BWC and Dole. I-share nyo na rin po itong video or live stream na to sa inyong mga friends, family, mga ka-work nyo, at gamitin ang hashtag Webinar Wednesday para inform din sila sa mga programa ng ECC. At sa mga programs din ng BWC at Dole at ng mga attached agencies nito. So again, on behalf of the Bureau of Working Conditions, I want to say thank you and see you again on the next episodes. This is NEP Catalunya, your moderator, signing off.
Para sa mga katanungan at karagdagang impormasyon, maaari po tayong tumawag sa Dole Hotline 1349 o sumuli sa mga Dole Regional Field Office na nakakasakop sa inyong lugar paggawa.